Are you new to The Sims 4 after its free release and are now looking for a way to make life just a little bit better? Mods are the perfect way to do that, and I want to cover some of the best mods I think are out there, especially for new players and those who are new to modding. This is before the Curse Forge, and I don't know which mods will be hosted there, but these are the ones that I recommend, whether or not they are hosted on Curse Forge. Small fixes / quality of life mods. Are you sick and tired of clicking on a part of your sim and cast, but they just keep on moving? These mods are for you. Stop vampire growling and stand still and cast. I love making vampires. They're probably the squirreliest occult in The Sims and won't stay still. This mod makes it just a little bit easier to click. And if you're tired of having your Sims moving at all, Stand Still and Cast is for you. I recommend this mod if you spend most of your time in cast. No more Sims moving all around when you're just trying to click on one part of the face. These might seem like a small thing, but stop smashing dollhouse. If you have an evil or hot-headed Sim, your kid's dollhouse will not last a day. The moment that you leave that Sim alone, they will be on that thing like a YouTube prankster family channel on their own child. This mod helps keep your Sim from purposely making their own children cry. More columns and casts. This is another one for new players that might not think about it, but once you get more packs or more CC, scrolling with only 2 columns is very annoying. Adding even just an extra column with the 3 option is absolutely worth it. Personally, I like using 4. UI cheat extension. Back in The Sims 3, you could cheat your Sims needs just by entering the code and then clicking and dragging the needs bar to where you want it. In The Sims 4, you can only click on the mailbox and completely fill the needs, but with UI cheat extension, you can choose which bit of the needs you want filled. You can also do things like change the in-game time. Lots of things you can do with this mod. For example, if you just want your Sim to not pass out while they're finishing dinner, but still need to go to bed after, you can do that. I highly recommend if you use cheats at all. MC Command Center. This one is a little bit more advanced, but if you have watched any kind of simming content, you've probably already seen MC Command Center, or at least heard its abbreviation. It allows you to do many things and get so much information about a Sim without having to do all the work. You can instantly change a Sim's outfit, even if they're not in your household. I use it to look and see what babies my Sims are having because I am impatient and always want to know right away. But this mod truly does it all. Do you want to change your Sim into an occult? Blam. Want to cheat them to the top of their career? Bam. Want to make that ugly eyeball ring on their finger go away? Bam. This is the one-stop shop for mods. Better BuildBuy. Again, this one's a little bit more advanced, but for all the new builders out there, there are secret BuildBuy items that are hidden behind cheats, but Better BuildBuy brings those things out and allows you to easily sort and find them in the search bar. It allows you to check for debug or to sort by custom content, all the things you want to do. It's not as advanced as a mod like Tool, but it is still super useful if you want to start getting into making better builds or more advanced builds like you see Sim YouTubers and other creators do. These next 4 I'm going to recommend if you have the Highschool pack. If you've been playing the pack, you might notice that townies never wear their own clothes and always come in spirit wear. No Highschool situation outfits fixes that. Now your Sims will look like they always do, in everyday wear. Same goes for Dress Normal at the Thrift Store mod. It does exactly what it says it does. No more weird outfits when they go to the thrift store. The Highschool that does come with the game is very large and feels kind of empty, but with more students at Highschool, this will help fill up it a little bit more, having more Sims for your Sim to interact with, and maybe even Sims that your Sim had interacted with the previous day. Sometimes they don't show up. Well, with Choose Your Own Classmates, you can put those Sims in your class. If you do use this mod, keep in mind that it does require certain requirements to be filled when you choose classmates, so keep that in mind. But if you're looking for consistency, realism, or you're trying to tell a story, it is worth checking out. If you have Dine Out, you might find that your Sims are constantly asking your Sim to go out to a local restaurant, but then you get there and it comes time to pay the bill, and you're stuck with the cost. With this mod, no more. If you get asked out, this mod makes it so you don't have to pay. It just makes sense, no more townies bumming off of you. Dine Out Reloaded by Carl's Guide is another one I recommend if you have Dine Out. If you want to do anything in your restaurant besides be the manager, now you can do that with this mod. You can be the waiter, you can be the cook, you can be the greeter, anything that the Dine Out requires you can now do yourself or have a family member do it. You can have a family-run restaurant now. Very cool. And a new update is coming out soon, so that's something to keep in mind. If you are out with your Sim, you might notice other Sims coming up and randomly joining your conversation. Super annoying when you want your Sim to get to know one person and not the entire city. This mod allows you to remove certain Sims from your conversation without having to leave it. Super nice quality of life fix. Sim Spawn Overhaul is a mod that changes the way Sims spawn in the world. For example, stray animals will spawn in more than one world now, and locals will be more likely to spawn in that world and at venues or even just walking around. Just makes it a little more immersive and easier to find Sims who live in the same world as you. Gameplay add-ons. These are going to be the mods that add a little bit more to the game in some way, or fix something that I think is lacking, and that is easy to use for new players. The Sims 4 is lacking a lot of things, especially when it comes to relationship, and a change in how Sims interact when they are romantic. Once they are done holding hands, they kind of just go back to staring at each other's cold dead eyes. The next mods are focused on fixing that. The same modder who makes Extreme Violence also has a slow dancing mod. I hate that Sims can't dance together in any way other than the group dance that came with the expansion pack. And this mod allows Sims to sway romantically the night away. It is very cute and I recommend. When Sims fall asleep at night, they like to leave room for the watcher. Cuddling in bed allows Sims that are romantically involved to cuddle up close in a very sweet animation. I have so many screenshots of my Sims cuddling and I just think it is the cutest. Get it if you can. Simda Dating App. This is a phone app for your Sims that allows them to date whoever. Whether they've met that person, it could be a blind date. You can even chat romantically with Sims on the computer, and it raises romance and I think friendship as well. I think it's also just nice to look at all the potential bachelors in your world, or if you have a Sim that you downloaded in particular, now you can ask that one Sim without having to find them in the wild or going to their house. Whimsical Whims is a more safe for work version of Wicked Whims. Whimsical Whims adds a lot of features like WTIs, periods, menstrual cycle, birth control, and definitely last but not least, attraction system. This is so nice to have, and I think it just adds so much character to Sims. You can set what features your Sims like, all the way down to body shape, hair texture, and length, and voice type. You can also set your Sims preferences in-game, and even base it off a particular Sim if you want your Sim to like that other Sim more. I like leaving it on random because I think it's fun to see what Sims mine are drawn to, and not just who I want them to be drawn to. Relationship and Pregnancy Overhaul is a super detailed mod that adds woohoo wellness, desires, doctor's trips, as well as protection and birth control, as well as other forms of pregnancy like surrogacy, adoption, sperm donors. I wouldn't even be able to touch the surface of everything that's included in it in here, but it adds a lot to the relationship side, It keeps impressions of your Sims, so if they cheat, they will remember that. You can keep it a secret or tell your partner. You can choose multiple ways of breaking up. Maybe it's a dramatic breakup, or both sides just agree to the separation. If your Sim gets pregnant, the mod will also remember if your Sim had multiple partners, and you could do a DNA test or go see a psychic to see if your hunch is right. The mod is honestly huge and adds so much detail to Sims relationships. I highly recommend. I only recently started playing with the First Impressions mod, but if you want to see what your Sims get along with or don't get along with, First Impressions are super cool. Sims can dislike or like somebody right off the bat, and it just adds an extra layer when it comes to your Sims relationship. Switch Streaming mod. This is a mod that I think is better than the streaming that comes in The Sims 4. I just think it adds a little more realistic, and also it's not a job like the other streaming options are in The Sims, and I just think it is a little bit more of a more realistic look at what streaming looks like. It's also great for Sims who want to be gamers or influencers, but on the side. Lifetime aspirations. Once you get more familiar with the game, you might notice that aspirations tend to act more like guides through the packs than something that someone might actually aspire to. Lifetime aspiration adds one long-term goal that are more encompassing and a little less hand-holding. No more wanting to be a great artist but being forced to go to the museum all the time. If you have other mod recommendations or think that people should check out a different one and have any questions, put those in the comments below. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye!